Thank you very much. Who has a question? Don't keep it for yourself. Is there a microphone? It's coming.
Thank you very much. This is a topic from my heart because I've spent the last 20 years working in this field in the community. I'm a paediatric dietitian. It's interesting to see that you have respiratory symptoms on your COMAS tool because we've published a study this year reporting symptoms. We did a service evaluation comparison and we found about 25% or so of infants did have respiratory symptoms, but mostly rhino congestion rather than runny noses and chestiness. And I noticed that's not included as one of the symptoms, but actually that was the key thing that we found in our cohort. The other thing about constipation, and it's good to see constipation mentioned on your tool as well, because often that's missed out too, but it's about soft stool constipation and the straining that these infants have rather than what most of us would think about as constipation. And again, we need this understanding, and I think one of the things about the tool and raising awareness is that we need to ensure that all healthcare professionals have lots of first-line management skills to offer to support all the EFGID symptoms, which are so common, your reflux, your constipation, your colic, and have that as your baseline, because as you talk about all these inappropriate prescribing of medications and things, and a lot of first-line knowledge will go a long way to avoiding overdiagnosis of cow's milk allergy, but recognising when it might be. So I think the tool has a lot of values, but there needs to be a lot of skills and knowledge amongst the professionals to use it effectively. But thank you.
Hey, Lisa, so I don't think you asked a question, but you have years of experience in this field and you made really valid points. And it's a difficult balance between over and under diagnosis, which I think all of us have highlighted, but points well taken. Thank you.
Other questions? Yeah.
Sorry, I'm clearly a bad allergy patient because can you hear my allergic rhinitis is beginning to give me hassle here. But one of the things that was highlighted in the immunonutrition session this morning is really that important collaboration between the dietitian and the allergist, gastroenterologist or pediatrician. And I think for no other food allergy, more so than cow's milk allergy, is that extremely important because of the huge nutritional impact it has taking cow milk out of a young child, particularly in infant's diet. So that's perhaps something that we haven't highlighted so far today, and perhaps that's something we can add to the COMA score, is to say that if you are going to go through this diagnostic process, make sure you have a dietitian involved. Because particularly in the United Kingdom, we have highly, highly skilled dietitians in this field, such as Lisa.
I cannot see any other questions, also not online. But Ivan, I have a question for you. Can COMIS be used for like an awareness tool for cow's milk allergy or also for other food allergies?
Well, then it needs to be studied and validated for other food allergies. Up to now, it's only being tested in suspicion of cow's milk allergy. I think if you want to use it in suspicion of other food allergies, maybe yes, But again, that needs to be tested.
So you create our new projects.
Maybe.
Karina, do you want to comment? No.
No, I agree.
You do agree. Okay. Okay. Any other? Well, but can you just comment, Ivan, because you are the father of COMIS, so probably that's a question for you. Can the COMIS be used to assess the severity of cow's milk allergy? To assess the severity of cow's milk allergy.
Again, a double answer, yes and no, because the higher the score, of course, the more the predominant the symptoms are. It's definitely that an infant with a score of 27 will suffer much more than an infant with a score of 11. On the other side, we voluntarily did not include some of the most severe symptoms, such as anaphylaxis or food protein-induced enterocolitis syndrome symptoms are not included. Blood in the stools is voluntarily not included because we thought that in case of anaphylaxis, action is needed and not losing time in filling in a score. And in case of blood in the stools, it's such a broad differential diagnosis that you should look at how the child looks like, because it could as well be severe sepsis as cow's milk allergy. And so we wanted to avoid that in case of severe manifestations, the healthcare professional would just fill in a score and say, well, this fits very well with cow's milk allergy, and not think about other very important differential diagnoses.
Okay, any questions from the audience or online? If not, oh, yes, okay.
Hello, good afternoon. I'm an allergist at a pediatric hospital here in Lisbon. I would like to ask you a more practical question about non-IgE mediated cow milk allergy, because when you have a crying baby that cries a lot, has reflux, and the parents tell us, I think it's from the milk, and you take off the milk and the baby gets really better. So you say we should reintroduce 2 to 4 weeks later, but how do you convince the parents that now the baby is very well? How do you reintroduce?
There's many answers to that. So I normally say to the parents beforehand that based on the data I just showed you, in about 50% of cases, baby's going to get better on avoidance, but if we put it back, the symptoms won't recur. I don't have an answer for that, whether it just means the baby's digestive system is getting better at dealing with foods or infant formula or breast milk. That may be an answer. There's some people that say they literally sign a contract with the family, that they agree that they will reintroduce the food. But look, at the end of the day, we are working with human beings. We're not doing mouse model experiments. And if the family just refuses, there's nothing you can do. What I do then in that case is, rather than perhaps a 3 or 6 months follow-up, I try and book a 1-month follow-up and see if at that point we can have the discussion again. But I can tell you that I've had parents who said to me, yes, we will of course put the cow's milk back, but you're going to clean the carpet, you're going to do all our washing, and you're sitting up with the baby at night because we're not going back. So I think it's really just that discussion with the family, but we cannot force people. But in that case, I definitely, like I said, I reduce follow-up time to see how soon I can at least try. The other thing as well as, and this is not really part of COMIS, and it's not none of the guidelines, but clinically, perhaps I can get them to do the milk ladder. Now, we've clearly said in IMAP, the milk ladder is for a year later when we try and see if tolerance have developed. But if I cannot get them to at least do that initial reintroduction after 2 to 4 weeks, but they're willing to consider the latter, I will actually start doing it at that point.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And with this introduction of the milk ladder, we will end this session because time is over, and I would like to thank you all for being here and for the questions. And yes, I would like to thank Nestlé Health Science, of course, for making this possible and supporting this event.